You're listening to the Packernet Podcast Network.
Mother's Day is around the corner. Find the perfect gift for the mom in your life with a stunning piece of jewelry from Blue Nile. From timeless pearls to dazzling gemstones, Blue Nile has something she'll adore. Need it fast? Most items can ship overnight. Plus, enjoy guaranteed free shipping and returns. Don't miss our special Mother's Day deals. Save big on the season's most beautiful trends. For a limited time, get up to 50% off by going to BlueNile.com. That's BlueNile.com.
Why take one vacation with the family when you could take all of them? With Royal Caribbean, you don't just go to the beach. You visit a private island and race down the tallest water slide in North America. You don't just go for a road trip. You ATV and zip line through the jungle. You don't just go somewhere new. You rappel down waterfalls and discover ancient temples. Because this isn't just any vacation. This is all the vacations. Come seek the Royal Caribbean. Ships Registry, Bahamas.
Actually, it's the lead play in our offense. We ask our YN or a tight end to open up somewhere between 6 feet and 9 feet, get an isolation with the linebacker. Come to tackle, to take the defensive end if he's over him. If he's not, to drive down on the first man to his inside. If the YN has the linebacker taken out, he cuts inside. If the YN has the linebacker in, he comes all the way around. You look at this play where we're trying to get a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome into Packers Total Access. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on Packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. Email us PackersTotalAccess@gmail.com. Text us 865-658-5824. Joined alongside Emilio in Tennessee. We got Jacob in Wisconsin here to talk a little Packers this evening. I know we got a celebrity softball tournament going on right now as well. Kind of cool stuff there is Jordan Love. We'll talk about that. Him just being the natural born leader that he is. But how we doing tonight, fellas? Emilio, what you got in that cup? That's what I need to know. Don't say.
I got a 4th round safety in the cup.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Jacob, what you been into today, bub?
Oh man, I've been, I was gonna make a joke about slanging drugs, like what's the guy's name in Miami Vice, or what do you call that stupid video game where everybody drives around and beats up?
Grand Theft Auto, man. Yeah, you are the main character in GTA. It's just you go in and you change your closet's right there. You like go in there, change the clothes, come back out.
I thought y'all were talking about the 2020 election, man. You talk about people just driving around beating everybody up. I don't know, man. Anyway, yeah. Somebody hit me. Where's Tim when you need him, man? Where the heck is Tim? I gotta do it to myself here. Where's it at here? There it is. All right, we're good now. So like we said, we had a little softball tourney going on tonight, softball game, if you will. And pretty cool, man. Jordan Love just being the leader that he is, the natural born leader that he is. Matt Schneidman put a series of tweets out earlier. It says, Jordan Love launched a foundation called the Hands of Love Foundation. Its mission is to encourage kids to participate in sports, bring awareness to mental health and suicide, and unite law enforcement with the community. Love lost his father, a former cop, to suicide in 2013. You guys know both his parents were police officers. I just absolutely love that he's constantly doing stuff for law enforcement, something that's really important to me, along with the military, things like that. Just supporting those who protect us on a daily basis. And, just really, really awesome people. I would love to have the opportunity to sit down and have a conversation with Jordan's mom. I bet she's an amazing woman, spending so many years in law enforcement, protecting and serving the community. Matt Schneidman went on to say, tonight's Green Bay charity softball game in Appleton will benefit Love's Foundation. Love and Donald Driver are the hosts, while Jaden Reed, Dontavian Wicks, Bo Melton, Tucker Kraft, and Eric Wilson are other confirmed participants. So obviously this is something that Donald Driver's been involved with for a very long time, all the way back to Brett Favre doing it way back in the day, right? And I think they play at the Timber Rattler Stadium there in Appleton. It says here from Channel 5, Local 5 Sports says, longtime Green Bay charity softball host Donald Driver announced on Friday evening that he's retiring from the event and passing it on to Packers quarterback Jordan Love. So pretty cool stuff there, man. Good to see those two guys together. Obviously, Donald Driver, one of the most beloved Packers in the history of Green Bay Packers, man. Pretty cool stuff, Jacob. Seeing Jordan kind of step up to the plate here, no pun intended, and really, carrying it on, man. All this great tradition that, like I said, I think Brett Favre actually. I don't want to say he started it. I'm not 100% sure on that. That's the first time I heard of this charity softball game was with Brett Favre running it.
Can you pull that picture up real quick one more time?
Yeah, man.
Atham says, how many gummies these two take before that picture? I will say, Donald Driver looks like he's like 14, and he's like hanging out with his buddies. Yeah. And Jordan Love looks like he's like the older guy, like the stepdad. Right. He's got the aviators or whatever you call them. I don't know.
Yeah, Driver looks like he's hanging out with his cool uncle, don't he?
Yeah. Can we get ice cream? Yeah.
What's crazy, though, man, Donald Driver never ages. You know what I mean? He looks exactly the way he did when they drafted him. It's just wild. I got a good buddy. His name is Worth Peak. Might be listening to the show. I'm not sure. His wife was here earlier hanging out at the house with the ladies. But I'll just say it. I'm not politically correct. You know me. He's one of my close friends. Black guy. He always says, Clayton, good black don't crack, bro. That's what he always says. So you love to see it. But what do you think, Emilio, about Jordan Love and this leadership?
It's my quarterback.
No, Worth's not a quarterback. I think he's talking about Jordan Love. Go ahead.
But no, nothing else I can say, man. What a guy. Protect those, that serve for us, right? That's why we can talk every day and hang out and chat and have fun. And, the people that's their job, their life every day. So, thankful for them, thankful for Jordan Love that he has that character, he has that kind of head on his shoulder where, he knows right from wrong, and he's, just ready to help the community and be a better person for it. And that's why we love him. So
yeah, he's so easy to root for, man.
Exactly.
Really this is pretty cool. Cheesehead TV actually tweeted out this video earlier today, or I guess about 40 minutes ago. Here was Jordan Love warming up, and I apologize if it's a little loud. Let me see if I can turn it down just a touch. Jordan Love just taking a little BP here before things get kicked off and going yard. Beautiful day, too. Look at that sky. Love it. So, like they said in the tweet, is there anything Jordan Love can't do? Obviously, going yard there at the softball game. So, pretty cool. BP. Since we're talking about Jordan Love, let's talk about the quarterback rankings that you sent over, Jacob. It's kind of hard to read. Hopefully, everybody can see it okay. I'll kind of read it off here. I want to get your all's take. It was basically NFL on CBS put out a tweet that says, first set of quarterback power rankings for the 2024 season. Number 1, Patrick Mahomes. Number 2, Brock Purdy. Number 3, Josh Allen. Number 4, Joe Burrow. Number 5, C.J. Stroud. Number 6, Lamar Jackson. Number 7, Jalen Hurts. Number 8, Dak Prescott. Number 9, Justin Herbert. And then in the number 10 spot is our very own Jordan Love. It's worth noting that coming in 11th spot is actually Aaron Rodgers. So obviously Jordan Love 1 spot ahead of Aaron Rodgers. Kind of cool there. But coming in at the 10th spot, Jacob, you're the one who sent this over to me, man. How do you feel about Jordan Love being in the 10th spot there? And we'll have us a good conversation about this.
I don't much like these off-season, like this is top 10 or whatever. I just think it's kind of unfair and it's whatever. But that being said, I think this is a pretty fair list. I think the order's a little jacked up as to where it'd be, but as far as who should be in the top 10, I think that's fair to say this is relative. I think you could put Love, in my opinion, above Herbert, Prescott, and Hurts. I think he deserved to be right around that top 5, top 6 quarterback range, and that's only because he's not that much of a threat with his foot, or his feet. What do most of those guys have in common up there is that they're really good at getting her out of the pocket, with maybe the exception of Joe Burrow there. So I don't know. And Love does have the ability to scramble if he needs to, but yeah, I think that's a semi-fair ranking. I'd probably put him though around 5 or 6.
Yeah. For me, first of all, let's get Emilio's take, and I'll kind of go through how I look at these things, and it's a good gauge of where I think they should probably land. I try to remove my bias, try to remove my personal opinion, and just say, okay, let's take a look at it globally here. We'll do that in just a second. Emilio, what do you think about this list here? Like I said, Mahomes, Purdy, Allen, Burrow, Stroud, Jackson, Hurts, Prescott, Herbert, and then Jordan Love.
Yeah, I mean, his spot's not terrible, but like Jacob said, I'd like to see him a few higher. Let's just, prove it next year. But Purdy being that high is a little rough for me. They just took the two in the Super Bowl and then went from there. Josh Allen, we'll see how he does. Without Stephon Diggs, Joe Burrow's coming back from that injury. CJ's on up and coming. Lamar's still Lamar. Jalen Hurts, Dak, and Herbert. Let's see what happens with them. Dak's still got to get paid. Jalen's still got to make a comeback, and Herbert see how he does with Harbaugh. But I love that. We're to the point where they're actually kind of talking about him. It is CBS, so none of them are going to talk about the Packers. They don't want to talk about it. It seems like, any of the podcasts you come up, none of the national guys want to talk about us. So just let, Jordan Love keep cooking and, show him in the season.
Yeah. And that comment that you just had up, Jacob, says fair. I think Respect Orange just said fair ranking. J Love had half a good season. Imagine what he could do this season. There's no indication he doesn't start right where he left off. I think that pretty much explains how I feel about Jordan Love. If he continues to play the way he did in that second half of the season, he's going to be one of, if not the best quarterbacks in the entire league. I really believe that. Now, when we look at this ranking as a whole, this is the way I like to look at this stuff. Now, I'm going to ask you guys this question. If you had to start a team right now, okay, and to me, the power rankings is right now. It's winning right now, right? Who is the best quarterback right now? I'm going to go through this list, and you tell me if you would rather have Jordan Love over this player, okay? Would you rather have Jordan Love or Justin Herbert if you've got to win one game right now?
Love.
What?
Love.
Love? Both of you said? All right.
Sure. Yeah.
All right. Dak Prescott.
Love. What do you got, Jacob?
Yeah, for sure. I've never been a Prescott fan, but yeah, Love.
Are you sure?
Here we go.
Jalen Hurts.
Love.
I still go Love, yeah.
Okay. Lamar Jackson.
That's where I start thinking that Lamar Jackson is that type of quarterback where, yeah, he can just be so dynamic from his feet.
I think the problem is Lamar. Like, if we got past Lamar for a second and said CJ and Joe, I honestly would still take Love because of Joe's injury history. CJ's still young and we're not sure where he's heading. But I know we're hung up on Lamar definitely.
Yeah. CJ Stroud.
I would take Love over him.
I'd still take Love because in my eyes they're kind of the same player. Just CJ's honestly a little younger, so I might just go with him. If I'm being honest, if I'm a GM type mind. Yeah.
Joe Burrow.
Love.
I'd go Love. Yeah.
Really? Wow. Josh Allen.
I don't know.
What's crazy is the first one y'all were hesitant on is the one I would say, yeah, I would take Love over Josh Allen. He just turns the ball over way too much for me, man.
We've had one of those before. We can make it work.
Brock Purdy.
Definitely Love, dude.
Yeah, Love.
Right.
I don't even get the whole
Patrick Mahomes.
That's a toss-up.
I'd go Mahomes still. You got to.
Yeah, so if I understood correctly, they're asking you guys that question. You guys think Love should be right around the 4 spot.
Yeah.
So for me, if I'm answering the question, I'm taking Justin Herbert over Jordan Love. Okay. I'm taking Jordan Love over Dak Prescott. I'm taking Jordan Love over Jalen Hurts. I'm taking Lamar Jackson over Jordan Love. I'm probably taking CJ Stroud over Jordan Love, to be honest with you. I'm taking Joe Burrow over Jordan Love. I'm taking Jordan Love over Josh Allen. I'm probably taking Jordan Love over Brock Purdy, but in my opinion, I think it's a lot closer. I hear a lot of Packer fans that are like, Brock Purdy's trash. Jordan Love's better than Brock Purdy. I can't get to that point just yet. I see why you would start to lean in that direction because those last 9 games were just unbelievable, man. And Brock Purdy, again, you've seen his bad play kind of show up in the second half of the season there, or at least in those last few games, seems like he struggled quite a bit. And then Patrick Mahomes, I'm taking over Jordan Love. So if I included Brock Purdy there, he's going to rise up about 4 spots for me. So that put him in about the 7th spot, 6 or 7 spots where I would have him. So,
and that's where Jacob had him before, we went through that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think a lot of this, though, is because what have you done for me lately kind of stuff. And people have a certain memory stuck in their head. Like people forget how close the Packers were to winning that game against the Niners, man. And if we pull that out, I think that the whole Love versus Purdy debate, when Purdy being looked at as a top 3 quarterback, I think that nonsense goes away very quickly. And what Clayton just said, Purdy seemed to fall off as the season went on, whereas Love, without a doubt, got better and better and better and better as the season went on. So,
yeah. AFM in the chat said Burrow over Love. Wow, Clayton. Love hasn't made it to a Super Bowl yet, boys. Love plays behind one of the best pass blocking offensive lines in the league. Joe Burrow got his ass kicked the first 2 years in the league, right? I don't think of all of them that you would pick, AFM, to go, oh, no way. I would have thought that was the last one, to be honest with you. Well, you got a disco going on over there?
The M18 needs a battery change.
I love it. All right, let's see what else we got going in the chat here. Packer Up says Mahomes, Allen, Jackson, Burrow, Stroud, Love, Purdy, Hurts, Herbert, Prescott in that order. I could see that. I don't have any qualms with that. Yeah, that puts him in what, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spot. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've been anywhere from 4 to 6 would be a decent spot for him right now.
Yeah. Let's see here. APM says Stroud's going to be top 3. Yeah, man, he played so good. So good. John in the chat says flip Dak and Jordan drop Purdy to 13, so Jordan 7. All right, got Jordan the 7th spot there.
Bring Aaron in the top 10.
Yeah, there you go.
It's crazy though, because back in the day, wasn't it just top name quarterbacks at the top no matter what, even if they had a bad season? I gotta change that, but that it would be like Peyton, Peyton Rivers, Breeze, Rodgers sort of thing. No matter what happened, so it's just kind of crazy how everyone's starting to change their tune.
Is that light powered by Milwaukee Tool?
Right.
We'll go put the 8-0 in there.
There it is. CJN says Love over Allen all day. And I would say you and I, CJN, are going to catch some hate for that, but I really feel that way, man. Allen, I know everybody likes to pretend like, I don't want to say pretend, I don't want to sound condescending. Many people say that Josh Allen is a truck and not, he's pulling, he's a tractor. He's pulling the trailer. He's pulling the team. I watched many games where he threw the thing away, man, just making stupid decisions in the fourth quarter when you already had the lead. And maybe that's why people like him, is because he got a little bit of that Brett Favre in him. I don't know, but
I was just going to say,
Love over Allen though.
Do you remember Josh Allen was very bad his first year. And then all of a sudden he got this renaissance of being, he's such a comeback player, and he's the only one that's ever got his, horrible start recorrected and blah, 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 blah. Has he really honestly been that good? I mean, I think that's fair to ask, because like you talked about, he's had arguably on one of the best and most talented teams that's well coached, well managed for his whole career. And he's always come up a little bit short. He always seems to he is giving the ball away on a really crazy level. Even when he was playing at a quote unquote high level, he was still, like you said, he was a Brett Favre. He throws some amazing plays, but 1 in every 5, you're like, God, don't throw that. Why would you throw that? What are you doing?
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's when it happened too. There was many times it was the fourth quarter, they had a lead, like a 6-point lead or a 11-point lead, and he rose left, throws across his body and turns it over. It's like, why?
Yeah.
Again, watch me make a play rather than, all right, the clock is our enemy now. Right?
He opened the season with 3 picks, right? So I hear you.
Yeah, CJN says anyone that has watched Allen should know his decision-making is not that great. Some of his throws make a person question why. And he's got all the talent in the world. Watching him run the football, man, he's hard to bring down. There's a lot of good traits there. But if you don't put it together between the years, you're going to hurt your team more times than not, man. More often than not, I should say. So, yeah. Good stuff, though. It's a good conversation. I appreciate, like I said, Jacob, thank you for sharing that, man. Let's see what Coach Lynn had to say here real quick. He said, I can see Jordan taking that jump to top 3 quarterback in the next NFL season. That's what I want, man. And if he does, and we don't get this deal done soon, it's going to cost us big time. Now, the other side of that, you get the deal done now, you make him a $50 million per year quarterback, and he goes back to that first half of last year. That's going to hurt bad. I just don't see it, though, man. I think when you look at what happened in the first half of the season, you had inaccuracy, right? That was the biggest thing that I noticed about Jordan, inaccuracy, and he wasn't playing on time. Second half of the season, the accuracy got fixed. It seemed like it was right when Matt LaFleur said he just needs to go out there and play his game. And I think what LaFleur told him was like, stop thinking. Stop thinking about the mechanics so much. Just go out there and play. Let that thing rip. And he did, man. Throwing off his back foot it was so much fun. I can't wait to do the recap of the season. As soon as we get through Chalk Talk, I got Evan Williams queued up here for the next day or two. Then we'll do Oladapo and we'll do Michael Pratt. And then we'll probably go ahead and move on to last year's recap, man, because I'm excited about going back and watching those games with you guys and gals. It's going to be a lot of fun. But, yeah, again, great conversation, Jacob. Thank you for sending that over, buddy. Let's see here. What else we got? AFM in the chat says, y'all see Parsons tried to move that sumo? Yeah, that was hilarious. Have you seen that, Jacob?
I have. That's why I highlighted it, because he Respect Oranges goes on to say, like, the one that he beat was only 17 years old, and he, quote unquote, only beat him like 1 out of 10 times. Right. He got stuffed to the point where stuff. So I actually retweeted that or re-X'd it, whatever you call it.
In the hobby, it's not easy being a fan of ripping packs or repacks. We get all hyped up thinking we're going to get some high-value Jordan Love card, but with zero transparency on available cards and hit rates, it's all just a shot in the dark. Until now, introducing slab packs from arenaclub.com, the only repack that provides real value, a complete view on all possible cards, and clear hit rates for each one. Now when I buy slab packs on Arena Club, it finally feels like I know what I'm getting. And honestly, the best thing for me and my son is the fact that we're kind of novices into this. When I walk into a card shop with my son, and a card says it costs $40, kind of just taking his word for it that that's a good value. So I appreciate the transparency on grading, as well as just getting excited about seeing what you could potentially get. Right now, you can get 10% off your first purchase by going to arenaclub.com/packdaddy. Wow, that's crazy offer. 10% off a $400 slab pack. That's $40 right there. Anyways, that's arenaclub.com/packdaddy for 10% off your first purchase. We all have smartphones, and we all know they're pretty amazing, but they also can be amazingly distracting, especially when we're around other people. So US Cellular wants us to reset our relationship with our phones by putting down our phones for $5. That's right, a company that sells phones wants us to put down our phones. And to see what we find, learn more at uscellular.com/built for us.
Hey, it's Kaylee Cuoco for Priceline. Ready to go to your happy place for a happy price? Well, why didn't you say so? Just download the Priceline app right now and save up to 60% on hotels. So whether it's Cousin Kevin's Kazoo Concert in Kansas City, go Kevin, or Becky's Bachelorette Bash in Bermuda, you never have to miss a trip ever again. So download the Priceline app today. Your savings are waiting.
Go to your happy place for a happy price. Go to your happy price, Priceline.
Why take one vacation with the family when you could take all of them? With Royal Caribbean, you don't just go to the beach. You visit a private island and race down the tallest water slide in North America. You don't just go for a road trip. You ATV and zip line through the jungle. You don't just go somewhere new. You rappel down waterfalls and discover ancient temples. Because this isn't just any vacation. This is all the vacations. Come seek the Royal Caribbean. Ships Registry, Bahamas.
And I put like the comment, I'm like, now I look at the movie The Replacements in a whole different way. Those sumo guys, it's got to plug them in at right guard, man. What are we doing?
Dude, you watched, come on. You know what sumo, that's what pass blocking is. Remember the art of pushing people around.
Grab them by the underwear and picking them up. Yeah. I don't see any wedgies out there on Sunday. Now those dudes, they're built a little bit different. I wonder what their life expectancy is. I'm not trying to be silly, but they do not.
I've never seen a dude eat eggs before a game. So,
oh man, yeah. So yeah, out there picking on 17-year-olds. Old Michael Parsons. ATM says, "Do we roll the dice and offer a 10-year deal?" That's the question, man. I'm gonna say no right now, but it's obviously if you go the Mahomes route that Kansas City did, it gives you a whole lot of structure in place to maneuver money around, man. You can go straight Chris Angel making stuff disappear with the cap. do a 10-year deal.
Clayton, if you're Jordan Love, what year deal do you want? And if you're the Packers, what year deal do you want? Just
Great
give
question.
me a number.
You talking about how many years on the deal?
Yeah, right. Yep. I'm sorry for the contract. Yep.
If I'm Jordan, and here's the thing, like it's kind of I don't want to skirt the question. I don't want to try to avoid what you're asking. I think it's a great question.
Answer the question, Clayton.
If Jordan Love is just all he's focused on is money, no more than a 4-year deal, right? And go for as much guarantee as possible, and get multiple bites at the apple. Now, if Jordan Love's like, hey, I want to do what's best for the team, take a 10-year deal, right? I don't think the Packers are going to give a 10-year deal. I just don't.
I don't either.
That's not, at least precedent suggests that won't happen. It would be cool if you knew Jordan Love was going to be good for the next 10 years and you can lock in a 10-year deal and have all that maneuverability with the structure of it. And what I mean by that is the skeleton of the contract where you can pull money up, push it back, tack on voidable years and extend it out to 13 years, right? There's a lot of things you could do with the cap in that regard if the window is open for a Super Bowl. But, if I'm the Packers, I'd try to get 6 if you think he's the guy, if you know he's the guy. Try to go like 6 and have plenty of maneuverability. But if I'm Jordan and all I'm focused on is money, I don't want it to extend any further than 4 years.
Right.
I want them to have to pay me again more guaranteed money as soon as possible. So.
Real quick, Jacob, what's your take on that?
Oh boy, I'd feel good about a 5 or 6 year deal
if you're Jordan.
Both, because like we talked
that.
about, if the front office wants to make sure if they think Jordan Love's great, 10 years that's a little large for my stomach there, but 5 years is great, because then if you lock him in at that 50 and 2 years, if the going rate is 60, 65, who knows what else, then we look really smart. And if it ends up being the case that Jordan has a shorter career because he sat for a little bit or whatever the case is, then we're not locked into that really long quarterback contract. So,
right.
And then, I think that'd be fair. I think it's good. We better get it done quick, because I don't want to make anybody else. I'm sick of making guys perturbed about their standing with the organization.
Yeah. Well, they always talk about us in trade markets, right? We're always calling. It's always the Packers are interested in this, and that guy. But I like what you said there. 5 years is a good start, because 4 it would be a 3-year deal sort of thing. We can get out of it early, but ideally, I think I want a 6. Kind of let Jordan Love get to it, right around 30, and then we'll go from there. And if we could get the guy at $300 million for 6 years, we better run that thing in ASAP. But because we got Tua and Dak coming, everyone's talking, so. I hope he doesn't break. I mean, obviously, I want him to get all the money he can, but I hope the Packers don't break 60 having to pay for it per year. But again, we'll see.
I don't see it. I know this. If he comes in south of $50 million per year,
no way.
Any scenario, if he does, Jordan Love's going to be loved in Green Bay forever.
Right.
That is considered very.
And I feel like if he does do that, you said, like they need to make that known. Like the dude. He took a team-friendly deal straight up. Like we need to talk about that if that's the case, because he sees potential in the team. He knows how they've grown. He's in the locker room. Obviously, he has all that. But if they actually make that happen, we need to acknowledge, what kind of a dude he is.
Yeah, definitely. Harry Cheese in the chat says, I don't think Love's agents will allow a 10-year deal. Yeah, they're definitely not asking for that. I promise you that. What's his name? Mugat? What's his name? I about said Mugatu. Wasn't that from Zoolander? We need that drop. We got to get that drop.
Hot right now. So hot right now. Jordan Love.
Mulageta or something like that, I think, is Jordan Love's agent's name. He's a hardball, no doubt, man. Let's see here. Packer up in the chat said, I think Matt was holding him back. The Lions Thanksgiving game, Matt took the gloves off and let that peacock fly, and the rest is history, man. If you guys want a fun game to go watch from last year, either of the Bears games are great. You can always lean on them, but go back and watch that Thanksgiving Day game, man. It was so much fun to watch. Definitely. What's he saying?
You don't remember that?
What?
Is this a contract for ants? The Zoolander movie, man.
Oh my God, I don't remember that line. Man. It was good.
Oh,
I remember the horrible gasoline fight.
Orange mocha frothy, yeah.
All right, Packer Up says, We just hit that one. Yeah. So go back and watch the Thanksgiving Day game for sure, guys. It's a dandy. AFM says, I know Chiefs are lucky Mahomes had all those endorsements and pushed that through. That's a good point too. Like you get yourself in a position with all the endorsements. Like Gronk's one that many people don't talk about. Everybody thinks Gronk's just a big stupid dummy, right? Like that's the thing he plays, Mr. Gronk. That dude didn't spend a dime of his game checks while he was in New England. He lived off endorsements and banked everything. And he's actually, if you get him out of the Gronk mode, dude is like, he's crazy savvy. You talking about having a ton of common sense, what we refer to as street sense, street smarts. That dude's got it, no doubt about it. Joe, let's see, Coach Lynn in the chat said the more the better, 7 to 10 year deal would be great. Absolutely. Ron Sample says Jordan should take 5 years. Years might not be the issue, but guaranteed money. Exactly. Guaranteed money is what's going to be the key there. No doubt about it. So good stuff, man. Didn't plan on talking about Jordan Love's contract coming up, but hey, here we are. That's a lot of fun. Let's see what else we got here. Make sure we didn't miss anything. We hit the quarterback power rankings. All right, let's move on to these videos that you sent, Jacob. These were really cool, man. I appreciate you taking the time to share them. Packers.com put a couple of videos out, part 1 and part 2, and it's really kind of deep dive of Larry McCarron with Brian Gutekunst and them preparing for the draft. And I believe they're actually sitting in the draft room. So you got to tip your cap and give a lot of credit to the Packers media team because they're starting to churn out content that's really, really interesting, right? I wish they would have had cameras in the draft room and give you kind of more of a behind the scenes. But this right here alone, the Packers are so secretive in how they do business. This is a big win for us Packer fans. I thought this was a really cool video. Again, Jacob gets credit. Thank you for bringing it to my attention, man. Let's go ahead and hit part 1. We'll react to it, and then we'll play part 2 and react to that. Here we go.
So, Goody, this is like the boardroom. I don't think I've ever been in the draft room before. It's really cool. I mean, this is where it all goes on, huh?
Yeah, for us, this is an everyday workroom. It's not just for the draft. Our personnel staff works in and out of here, year round, and it's really a functional room. I have a hard time thinking anybody has it better than we got, but yeah, this is where we spend most of our time, and probably where I'm the most comfortable.
Now, you drafted 11 players, and history says most of them will make the team. Now, you've said we're not out to be the youngest team in the league every year, but you do want to be green and growing. Could you explain that?
Yeah, I think that's an old Paul Brown term, if I'm not mistaken. I think I heard that somewhere, but I think you have to.
Paul Brown, man, one of the founding fathers of the National Football League. That dude's quarterback got his face broke in a football game. So he got with an engineer and they came up with a pinky-sized rail, protective railing to go around the helmet, which is now known as the face mask. Paul Brown actually had the patent. He owned the patent on the face mask for a long time. He was also the first head coach in the NFL to use photographs from the top of the stadium. He actually paid a kid in the stadium one time to run the Polaroid pictures down to the sideline as they were taking pictures of what the defense was doing. And he paid this kid like a couple bucks. All game long, he was running to the top of the stadium and back down, bringing those down. I believe he created the very first radio in the helmet as well. Paul Brown is the Cleveland Browns are named after Paul Brown. They were his team. And obviously Cleveland, I think it was Art Modell came in, took over Cleveland. He fired Paul Brown, and Paul Brown went on to coach the Cincinnati Bengals, and with a young offensive understudy that obviously went on to have a great head coaching career. His name was Bill Walsh. So Bill Walsh comes from Paul Brown's coaching tree, and Paul Brown revolutionized the game of football. So it's pretty cool that Goody's quoting him. That's awesome.
Keep growing, and you have to keep getting better. And in the National Football League, for players, obviously, there comes a time where maybe that is tough just physically, when you get to a certain spot in your career where it's tough to do. So we want all these guys to continue to grow, to continue to get better. I think the best way to do that is to have competition within the rooms. I think competition brings out the best in all players. It really allows the cream to rise to the top. So I think that's kind of the idea. We want to be explosive, fast, and have guys that still have something left in the tank to get better with. And I think if you have that, it's going to bring out the best in the entire team.
Pressure from the back.
Brian, I'm excited to see Edgerrin Cooper in pads. Is that excitement justified?
Yeah, I think seeing all these guys in Green Bay Packer uniforms out on our field is something that's a little bit like, Christmas Day for scouts, right? This is a very exciting time for all 32 teams because there's a lot of hope. And obviously, if you pick guys in the draft, you felt good about them. We brought a lot of speed and athleticism to our team to this draft, and certainly Edgerrin is going to be right up there. I mean, his length, speed, and his playmaking ability is, once he gets into our defense, understands it, and, in his comfort zone, it'll allow him to make a lot of plays for us.
Edgerrin Cooper gets the sack on 4th down.
The three safeties, Bullard, Williams, and Oladapo, play the same position but different guys. Does each one have his own hole card, shall we say? What differentiates the three?
They're all very aggressive downhill players that will hit you, and I think that's certainly something we were looking for. In Williams and Bullard's case, I think they have a lot of flexibility within playing slot and nickel, as well as safety. They both can play in the post. They both can come down and play in the box. Oladapo's a little bit more of a traditional, free and strong safety. Can play both of those. I think if he comes down and plays in the nickels, will be a little bit more like a big nickel Sam linebacker, will linebacker type. And I think all three of them have exceptional ability to play on teams as well. So they're very versatile in different ways, but I think they're all going to have an opportunity to help us in more than one way.
And picked! Bullard has it!
In your evaluations, do you feel a responsibility to uphold the culture that you have in your locker room? Because it is exemplary. Do you feel like a responsibility? We need to keep this going.
Absolutely. I think it's one of those things that your culture in your locker room is going to come from your players. I think who you put in there, particularly when you have a strong culture like we do, I think it's only fair to those guys that the guys you bring in there are that way as well. Certainly we want to keep that going. Every year it's a little bit different and it can change, but it's going to change with the kind of guys you're putting in the locker room. There will be adversity in an NFL season. There always is. And I think one thing that was really good to see from our team last year is when we hit that adversity, how they came together, they didn't go apart. And the guys that we brought in through this draft, we're going to expect them to kind of be the same kind of guys. That when tough times come, we're going to band together and put the team first. And these guys that we brought in through this draft class, for the most part, showed that they were able to do that in college. And so usually if they've done that there, they know how to do that. They know how to play a role. They know how to be a good teammate, and that's important.
Hey, we go back.
Absolutely awesome video, Jacob. Thank you for sending that over, buddy. Takeaways, man. You're the one who sent it over. What do you come away with there, man?
I mean, a lot of different things, but just the biggest one is that it's not coach speak. We've heard it like 85 times now that they want competition at every single positional aspect of the offense and the defense. And you look at what they did. There's just it shows that it's not just a press conference like phrase that they want to use. They want, and it kind of surprises me because I really do think that like guys like Rasheed Walker, his job's not safe. I really do think that hopefully Myers' job isn't safe. I hope that guys like, even like Nixon, I hope that maybe in the slot, I think we have another part of this video that goes on to talk about how he may be slipping into a more of like almost a hybrid Will or Sam role, like a big nickel kind of thing, which Magic here is maybe motioning to or highlighting in. So I'm excited. I think there's a lot of potential for this group, and yeah, it's a good problem to have to be so deep in so many positions. So for the ones I'm excited, I really do think we could have something special going with how young. Again, they talked about. I think there's another comment about right here, which McKnight said, "How do the Packers have enough snaps for all the first, second, and third year players?" I don't know. I don't care. That's a great problem to have. We'll figure it out, dude.
Yeah. That's the problem too. Like Bill Parcells used to say all the time, he would refer to veteran players that you would sign off the street, even though they're better than the young guys you've got on your roster. He would refer to them as progress stoppers, right? Because it's important for those young players to get those reps. And from an evaluation standpoint as a staff, you don't know exactly how they're going to respond until they're out there, they're thrown into the fire. There's only so much you can glean out of practice reps and practice footage. But I think it's something that's important. But like you said, when you're deep at a position like that, and again, listen, they're all rookies. They could all suck. We're all aware of that. I know there's somebody right now going, you guys are homers. Yeah, it's called Packers Total Access. We do like the Packers, so calm down there, buddy. Put your stones back in your robe. But when you've got three guys that are battling for the same spot, you're going to get the best out of all three of them. I really believe that. And if someone doesn't rise to the occasion, then it says they're not cut from the right cloth, But what'd you think about that, Emilio? What'd you take away, man?
Just they're team guys, right? Goody said if they're able to, make that sacrifice for the team in college, that they're going to be able to do that in the pros. And I really like that. We know that they look for that kind of stuff, but hearing them, say that actually puts a little bit of, emphasis behind the point that we've made. Like, dude only wants, good character guys that care about football, care about family, care about, a team aspect. And that's why they're all here. That's why he took Jordan Love, right? Jordan Love is a, family football, and, respect and, take care of the people around you. So I think building that team from Jordan Love moving forward like that has really shown up and played out in the roster we have now.
Yeah, definitely. Prince in the chat said, Edrin has great hands and 2 intact pinkies. I don't know why I just said that. Goody interview. Edrin Cooper is very, very well. That wasn't me. I don't know which one of you knuckleheads did that. Edrin Cooper. It's really intriguing because if you get the Edrin Cooper that played last year, you're going to get an absolute dog. If you get the 2022 version, you don't really know what you got, right? You kind of feel like the 2022 version, if you go back and watch that tape, that should be the floor. I imagine last year would kind of be the ceiling. So if we get somewhere in between and he comes out his rookie year and he grades out even in the low 70s, what an improvement that'll be in the linebacker room from last year. Of course, Coach Lynn in the chat said, love that. Our 3 safety we drafted along with McKinney and Johnson Jr. will transform our defense. Can't wait to see it. And people are absolutely raving over X, Xavier McKinney. They're talking about him just being a huge, huge difference maker. We were going to hit on some of the coaches' comments, the assistant or the position coaches' comments today, but Jacob found these cool draft videos, so I thought we would hit them first and kind of do it in order. Ron Samble says, Balaga says Walker plans on keeping that spot, most likely will. I could see that happening. You guys know Balaga actually spent time with Rasheed Walker on the tailgate tour that they just did, right? So they got some kind of one-on-one time there. Dave James in the chat says, when do you see Oladapo being ready? I think he'll be ready for training camp, me personally. Jacob, do you got any reason to believe he won't be ready for training camp with that toe?
No, I mean, that's what they said, or that's what he said in this interview. So I would hope that he'd be ready because we talked about it. No matter what, if you're not on the field, what do you say? You can't make the club in the tub? I think that's very true. And we've seen it, especially with guys like DeBose, guys that just can't stay healthy, especially from the jump right away. Coaches start, I don't want to say they're playing favorites, but if you see something consistent in a guy, it's going to definitely be more of a weight in his favor when you're looking at 2 dudes and one of them hasn't even been on the field. So,
right. Definitely. Respect Oranges in the chat said, crazy 180 on the safety room last year. Absolutely. Checking out says, 4-3 is a better scheme. Our current players will play better in it. Our new players are an upgrade that fit better in it. No way we shouldn't have a top 5 defense right out of the gate. I get a little nervous with that. With all due respect, checking out. I know how this fan base works. We ran Dom Capers out of town. We ran Mike Pettin out of town. We ran Joe Barry out of town. And if you're telling me this defense isn't a top 5 defense, we're going to be ready to run Jeff Hafley out of town. I'm tired of the merry-go-round, man. And maybe you're not saying it to that extent, but top 5's a little rich. Ricky Bobby once said, I'm too drunk to taste this chicken. You know what I'm saying? It's probably going to take a little bit to get their food on. For me,
with threats to our nation waiting around every corner, adaptability is more important than ever. When conditions change without notice, quick strategic thinking is crucial. And with obstacles consistently impending, determination is essential in overcoming them. It's this willingness, decisiveness, and resilience that sets Marines apart. With our fighting spirit, we don't just fight battles, we win them. Marines are the constant our nation counts on to fight the unknown. And through adaptable problem solving, we do just that. Learn more at marines.com.
Have you ever experienced turbulence on a flight and wondered why?
And you can see all the terrain around you. You've got no issue with visibility or anything? Nah, everything's PG.
Maybe you've sat on the tarmac for hours wondering why your plane isn't moving.
Well, we're outside here. They're saying the ramp is closed. They won't let us park because of Air Force One.
Listen in on the conversations between pilots and air traffic controllers on the Air Traffic Out of Control podcast.
510 Whiskey declaring an emergency. There's smoke in the cabin. I need to make a landing right now on 31 left.
We have the most interesting, wild, and funny ATC recordings you will ever hear. Check out Air Traffic Out of Control wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts.
I think they were 16th last year, if I remember correctly. Right around there is where they finished. And it depends on what metric you find most important. For me, it's scoring. It's all about scoring. All about scoring, red zone defense, all that good stuff. At the end of the game, I don't think anybody looks up and goes, how many rushing yards did we give up? I'm looking up going, did we win? That's the most important thing, right? So for me, if we can be a top 10 scoring defense, then we're good. I'm happy, right? When you say top 5, if you're talking about overall performance, overall yards or what have you, I'm not expecting that much of a jump, but maybe I'm underselling them here. What do you think, Jacob? Would you be do you think they should have a top 5 defense?
Oh man, should. If we have, I'll put it this way: if we have a top 14 defense, I'll be super happy. If we have a top 10 defense, I'll get an Emilio tattoo. If we have a top 5 defense,
now they're gonna hold you to it. Top 10, man. That's all it takes. By January next year, Jacob's getting Emilio across on the side of his neck. No regrets.
No regrets. Yeah.
Let me put that on the ticker real quick. Hold on.
Oh, no.
So if they have a top 5 defense, is that what
top
it is?
10?
All right. Really? All right.
I know. That's why I was saying.
I said 5. My 5s sound like 10.
If
we'll give them top 5. We'll give them top 5.
Let me go. Let's go top 7. All right. Top 7 scoring defense. I'll get. This is good podcast right here. I'll get Emilio tattooed on your left butt cheek.
Sure.
All right, there you go.
Butt cheek.
That works.
Keep talking, Emilio. Don't let this.
I'm just wondering what's going to happen.
Hi, I'm Date Mike. Nice to meet me. How do you like your eggs in the morning?
That's foolproof, because what if the girl's like, who's Emilio? I'll be like, the tattoo artist misspelled Amelia.
Oh, great. Yeah, that'll
O's.
save the day.
You know what I mean? And she'll just be like, oh, yeah, and you didn't get it fixed. And I'll be like,
we got the updated.
Who?
We get the updated ticker now. Costco has some good tequila, Coach Lynn. It's 2024. You don't know what I meant. PTA Jacob. And if the Packers have a top 7 scoring defense, I'll get an Emilio tattoo on my left butt cheek. PTA Jacob. So the ticker has been updated. Jacob
is 66% of our updated ticker right now. And the only other thing on the ticker is talking about tequila.
R. Showers says, another reason the Dillard thing is a head scratcher. Not criticism, but wondering. Dillard was horrid last year. The only thing I can come up with, Showers, is he was the 19th overall pick. And typically when a team will go out and sign someone who's underperformed, the first thing a team does when they go to potentially sign a free agent is they go back to the draft grades they had them. Because most of these front offices, they think we can make that player, like we can use him right. We can use him correctly. If they had a grade on him, they felt pretty convicted. Hey, this guy is this good, right? Whether it's worthy of the top 10 pick, worthy of a top 20 pick, worthy of the first 3 rounds, whatever it is. You may look at the tape and go, hey, look, they didn't utilize him in a proper way, right? So that could be the case. Now, I know I've heard something that Dillard said he's a tackle. He's not a guard. You need to suck it up, Buttercup, because you stunk really, really bad so far. If I were you, I would come in going, hey, I'm willing to play wherever. I just want to be on that field. That's, to me, I didn't personally hear him say that. So that might be completely inaccurate. But I know I heard a couple of people talking about that. That kind of, slow your roll there, bub. You haven't played that good yet. So it's kind of how I see that. Again, I think they took a flyer on someone that they seen coming out of the draft as a pretty quality prospect. Go ahead, bub.
No, I was just gonna say for Dillard. I mean, I want the guy to do well, but I think was it The Rock? I know the chat will let me know right away. Was it The Rock that said, "No, you're rolling. Shut your mouth." Just saying. To the millions and millions of Dillard.
Here we go.
All right, let's do this. Let's get to the final video. We're at the 45-minute mark. This is part 2 of that draft video that the Packers put out on Packers.com. Make sure you go to their Twitter page and retweet it. All that good stuff. Give it a like. Let's show support there. Again, got to tip your cap to the media group, man. They're doing a great job over at 1265, putting out a little extra content. So, and again, everybody in the chat was like, "Man, can we clear up that draft board in the background?" If I know Goody, that was probably an inaccurate draft board anyway. They're probably putting up false information.
Yeah,
they slap up that fake board real quick, right? It's like the Bat Cave. He claps his hands and the real board rolls down. You know what I mean? That type of thing.
It was a board from 2 years ago. He's rolled that one back out for him.
Yeah. Right. All right. Here's part 2 of the this Goody draft sit down here with Larry McCarron.
When you look at the just completed draft, you've had some time to digest it, shall we say. What do you think?
You know, I think I'm really excited about it. I mean, a lot of the things we were able to do through this draft really matched up with some of the needs our football team needed. Now, these guys got to come in and they got to buy into our culture, work, become a really good team member and put the team before themselves and learn how to be professional football players. So there's a lot of work to be done, but I really feel that all these guys that we selected, and history will say that not all of them are going to make it, but I feel all these guys have an opportunity to be really good players if they buy into it, and that's exciting. I think they can become valuable members of our team one way or another, and I do think that they're good culture guys that will fit in. So I'm excited about that.
I thought it was interesting when you said over the past couple days, no, you don't draft for need, but subconsciously it may enter into the equation. Could you talk about that a little bit?
We put our scouts out into the world, so to speak, to go to these schools and start to look at players. We're specifically scouting for the Green Bay Packers, not the National Football League. So when they put grades on players, they're grading them for us, not necessarily for the National Football League. So I think sometimes they're very well aware of our team. We study our team a lot. We talk about our team, where it's at, where we need to get better, where we need to get stronger. When we're specifically scouting for the Green Bay Packers, I think sometimes those needs are baked in there because you're comparing players that are out there, whether it's in the free agency market or whether it's in the college draft, to how they'll fit with the Green Bay Packers. And if you have certain needs or maybe places where you need to get stronger, I think it just kind of gets baked in there a little bit to how you build your board. Over my time, I've seen that match up a little bit, and it certainly did.
Brian, in the 21 draft, 5 quarterbacks were taken in the first 15 players. 4 of those quarterbacks have already been traded for a day 3 pick. Nothing against day 3 picks,
right,
but they're not the top rung, okay? Why has Jordan been able to succeed when so many people at that position don't?
That's a great question, and there you know better than anyone how hard it is to play that position in the National Football League. The amount of processing and things that happen pre-snap and then everything that happens post-snap, there's just a lot that goes into it. We've had great fortune to be able to sit him for 3 years and allow him to grow into that spot, but you have to give him a lot of credit, the work that he's put in. And then when the opportunity came, not only was he ready and he seized it, but even through the adversity, he didn't let it bury him. He came out of it the other side. And that's a credit to who he is and how hard he works and what, quite frankly, the team around him and how they believe in him. So again, it's an inexact science, this thing, the draft, and when you're picking players, it's a lot for a quarterback. It's a lot put on his plate. And to see kind of Jordan where he is right now, and there's going to be new challenges, and there's going to be more put on his plate as he goes forward. But certainly what he's done so far since he's been here gives us a lot of confidence that he's going to be able to tackle those challenges.
Last thing for you, the biggest challenge facing the 2024 Packers.
Yeah, handling success. I'd like to think that the way last year ended was positive. We didn't finish exactly how we wanted it to, but there's going to be new challenges moving forward. And some of that will be handling the success and staying together as a team. So tough to predict what's going to come at you, whether it's injuries, different things from inside your building. But these guys sticking together through the ups and the downs is usually the challenges that you have to get through to have a successful season.
Love another awesome video. I love what he said there, that these guys have got to come in and learn to be pros, right? They got to come in and you could tell that what Goody does with the type of players he drafts, he likes Senior Bowl guys. He likes team captains. The first thing he's doing, Emilio, is trying to protect that culture in Green Bay.
Yep. I mean, like I said before, he built it with Jordan Love, and all he's trying to do is protect it ever since, right? He took that GM spot, and he's ready to keep the Packer way going, but also bring in athletes that want to play football, that want to bleed for the green and gold. Basically, is what he's asking them. And putting them first and learning how to be a pro is definitely a key aspect to that. But I just can't, I'm so happy that we have Goody. Everyone, doubts him, puts him down. Compared to some of the other GMs out there, dude, I mean, some people just can't even put a draft together, can't even, like we saw the clips of the scouts. The scouts are scouting for Green Bay. Some scouts are just trying to scout for the media. Some of them are just, they're not worried about their team. They're not worried about the needs, what the coach wants, what the D coordinator needs, what the O-line, the interior O-line coach needs, whatever. So I'm happy that from the ground up they have it set and right, and soon people are going to be watching us, right, and taking notes.
Yeah, Jacob.
Yeah, Emilio just stole my talking point. It was going to be about how he specifically highlighted the fact that, a lot of us, I'm guilty of it too. We all are, that we went and we did our 35 mock drafts in the off season, and we said, you guys, you leaped, and that was a steal, and this was a reach, and this is not good, dude. Like, we just need to eat a big slice of humble pie and shut your mouth and understand that, like Emilio just said, they have drafts, and like Goody said specifically, we don't care what the other teams and coaches and front offices think about this and that player. We care about what our scouts and what our front offices see from this player, because this player is going to fit best in our scheme. That's why we see them. I mean, honestly, it's the only reason that it makes sense as to why we see such drastic shifts into where they draft certain players, let's say a Hopper or something like that, or a Clifford, way above anybody else on their board for other teams, because for whatever reason, they see that, no, that's a niche that we need filled in our organization. And honestly, I used to be like, oh, I can't believe they did that. Scoff, grab the pearls, blah, blah, blah. Now I'm just like, oh, when they make a pick that I didn't think was coming, I'm like, he must be really good. He must be really good. There's no reason they wouldn't do this. That's how I feel about Jacob Monk right now. That's how I feel about Evan Williams right now. I'm just like, okay, let's show me, because clearly I'm just a dude that sits on my lazy boy eating popcorn, and I'm like, that was a stupid. I didn't like that pick.
What was he thinking?
We need to take a step back and chill. Especially, I mean, even people I love, my brother is the worst. He's texting me going like, who's this guy we drafted in the 4th round? I'm like, bro, you whatever.
But Jacob, that used to be you, right?
It was me, honestly.
It used to be me, bro. Used to be all over. Right?
And that's why I hate saying, when I try to tell people, I said, this, I never self-promote like anyway. If I always say it's Clayton's podcast, it's not my podcast. But what I do float, and when we float our own boats, I say, if you watch this podcast, you will come away being a way more informed Packer fan. Whether or not your opinion changes, that I can't tell you that on certain things, but you will have all the information needed to make an educated decision on certain things. I would like to think.
Yeah. And what we never want to do is try to sway people into feeling a certain way or trying to believe a certain way. The second that we start doing that with listeners, then we stop learning. There were so many. I feel comfortable saying I was probably wrong about more stuff last year than I was right. And that's the whole goal, is like to try to keep up with what's actually going on the field, off the field, everything. Right. That's just, I don't know, man.
And Clayton, we're not out to be right every time, like you said, right? We're trying to learn with the chat. I mean, how much information do we get from the chat daily? They keep us in track online. I mean, I got the 4th round safety in the cup. We need to figure out what's going on here. But I like what Harry said here. You can't judge a draft until at least 3 years, after. And I was listening to Lombardi, and that's kind of what he was saying. How can you go back and say right after a draft it was an A, B, C, or D when you have no idea what these guys have done? And then by the time you read their names off 3 years later, you don't even remember half of those guys.
Yep.
I mean, 2/3 of them aren't even, first round talents. 2/3 of them are on practice weights. So I like that point. And exactly, I think we can, now start to look at Goody's moving forward. But you always have to put a name to a draft pick, and you can't judge drafts right off the rip.
Yeah, dude, it was hilarious, Jacob. The GM shuffle with Michael Lombardi today, the pod that dropped either last night or today, he went back and read off the grades from like 2021 or whenever it was. And he read off Mel Kiper's grades. And it was like a B-, right? They gave a B-. And then he read off the draft picks. And it was like, I don't know any of these. Like, they missed on every single draft pick, and they'd be like B+. What?
Yeah.
Like, it's wild, man.
Who in the hell is Mel Kiper anyway?
That's all Lombardi was saying.
That needs to be on the ticker too. Just who the hell is Mel Kiper anyway? In a way. So, anything else you guys want to hit before we get out of here? We're at the 56-minute mark.
I will just real quickly, I came across, I don't know if you'd call it a clickbait article because it did apparently happen. Jason Vrabel, the wide receiver coach, was asked about whether or not Christian Watson is good or bad or anything like that. Something in the chat.
No, as soon as I heard his answer, I went, oh, God, Jason, you just stepped in dog crap, bro.
Well, I mean, you guys can take it over. I was going to ask what you thought about that.
Yeah. Whenever you're talking to the media, you're talking to the team, right? So think of this is, and I could be completely out of pocket here. And Amelia, I want to get your take on it. And I'm kind of paraphrasing. I didn't prepare with the exact quote, but he essentially said, yeah, what Christian's got to do is let us know if he feels that hammy bothering him, then we'll give him all the time off that he needs. So what you just said to your team is, if you're not 100%, we'll play it soft. You can just not practice. Don't worry about it. That's the way I take it. Because, again, anytime, this is Bill Walsh 101, Brian Billick 101. Anytime you've got a microphone in front of you, you're not speaking to the media, you're not speaking to the fans, you're speaking to your locker room. And that really did kind of go, man, what are we doing, Jason? And, again, you may feel that way, but you can't say that out loud, man. You can't. That's, Emilio, that's like saying, you've got 10 employees, right? And one's got a bellyache.
Yeah.
And that's like basically, hey, everybody here, I want everybody to know if you got a stomach ache, everybody can go home. Don't worry about it. It ain't a big deal. Don't worry about fighting through it. Don't worry. You know what I'm saying? It's just, maybe I'm too much of a hard ass. I don't know. But that stuff, as soon as I heard it, I went, oh, Jason, what are we doing, bub?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
So like you said, I haven't heard it directly. From what you said, I 100% get that point. Exactly that. The only thing, if I would, maybe push back or give Jason a chance is, hey, we're just talking about what happened last year. Like if Christian had told us that his hammy was bugging him, let's get him better. Let's give him some more time off. But I don't think that moving forward, hopefully it's not an issue with, new strength and conditioning, all that. But I don't love that, like you said, but sometimes it happens where, players get special treatment, help in this, and that. And if he maybe thinks that, Christians is that special player, I don't know. It's a tough ask. I don't like how it was said, if, that's kind of the paraphrase, but,
and he didn't mean it like in a negative. It's just,
right.
Hey, listen, I've said a bunch of stupid stuff in my life that I went, yep, probably shouldn't have said that. I'm sure he feels like that.
I've said a bunch of stupid stuff on this podcast. I mean, what I think
he was on the left butt cheek.
Exactly. Yeah. Now it's on the freaking Chiron. So I think that if you actually I'd even give him a bigger leeway than Emilio did. I would honestly say he was trying to just save the player. in his mind. He didn't want to create any more drama. And in trying to be so overprotective, he said something that was kind of like stupid, something where it was like, oh, which that's what you say. Like when you really don't have something to say, you end up just trying to fill time.
Right.
And like, you know, you just all of a sudden say something that's so stupid that you're like, that completely made me look worse than what I was trying to not do before. And I will say one thing is that he went on to say that like Watson looks great as of now, that he looks healthier than he's been since he's ever seen him, kind of thing. So I really do think, and to the credit there, yeah, Watson is a freak. You guys forget, we talked about Jordan Love in a span of 8 games. How unreal he was. Christian Watson in a span of 8 games was up there with like Randy Moss type numbers. The guy was, you give him an end around, you give him a post, you give him a freaking dump off route, and you just take it to the touchdown. It didn't matter.
Right.
And he would outrun everyone. And that was when apparently he was still dealing with like hamstring issues. He wasn't even 100%. And if you go to the bloodline of that, you know, he's a fun follow. Mr. Watson's dad, apparently today he benched 335 14 times.
Oh, right there, baby.
No spotter. Like
spotter.
All right.
But to Jacob's point, Clayton,
I ate 3 cannolis in 10 minutes with no
dude, I ate a lot of pasta.
Dumbbell, 3-ounce curls over here, Clayton. But to Jacob's point with that, you know, Christian being that, you know, taking the top off, and when Lombardi was talking about not having that number 1X, do you think that not having a number 1X, all we need to have is a speed dude that's able to take the top off? If you can't have that number 1, do you need that? Do you need that speed to take the offense to that next level?
Yeah, and you know, it's a great point. It's, you know, obviously it's not Randy Moss type stuff where they're you know, playing too high shell and bracket covering him. You know, whether it's lower inside to outer up top thing. But like you said, at the bare minimum, what it forces corners to do is play off, right? And when they play off, guess what? You throw in a choice route into that boundary X of, hey, look, if they're 8 to 10 yards off, take this thing to 11 yards and run a dig, and he'll be open every time, right? Those little things just in the isolation game itself are really, really effective with someone who can take the top off of defense for sure. There may come a time where they start to bracket cover. There was a time when defenses didn't respect Christian Watson's speed, and I challenge you to go back to 2022 and watch the Dallas Cowboys tape. When he burns him off the line, that's when it all started. And it's like, okay, now guys started to play off like this dude. It more so than his speed, it's his stride length. He's got long legs.
Right.
And that's something that Greg Cosell talks about a lot, stride length.
And he doesn't need to be Devontae Adams if he has that type of stride length, that type of speed, because he still can create a double coverage or a shade over sort of scenario, even with just being that athletic.
Yep. Absolutely. Mick in the chat says Musgrave runs very fast too. I'm waiting for Musgrave to start getting flexed out. If we have to go 12 personnel, if you get a little banged up at receiver and you want to lean on 12 just a touch and keep guys fresh, go 12, attach Tucker Kraft, flex Luke Musgrave out at the boundary X, and now you're going to really get into some cool stuff. You guys know me, I still want 11 personnel on the field the large majority of the time. But when they need a breather, you go to that 12, I want to see him flex Luke Musgrave out. He's learned the tight end position now. Year 2, let's get him in those flex spots, right? That's what I want to see for sure. So we better wrap this thing up. We're at the hour 4-minute mark. I want to thank everybody. If you're watching here on YouTube, do us a big favor. Hit that like button for us so other Packer fans can find this channel and find this content. Also want to give a quick shout out to our newest Patreon member of the PTA Posse. Really, really cool community we're creating over there, and it's all because all you guys and gals that are contributing. Mr. Paul Grant, thank you for joining our Patreon group. We'll make sure you're entered into the giveaway coming up during the schedule release show next week. We're going to be giving away an autographed football. It's autographed by the one and only, rest in peace, Mr. Paul Hornung, the golden boy from the Vince Lombardi era of the Green Bay Packers. That was donated by Jacob and Jacob's father. Appreciate you there, buddy. So what we're going to do, anyone who is a member of our Patreon group, we're going to put everybody's name on a wheel, and we're going to spin it live on the show when we do the schedule release, and whoever's name it lands on will win that autographed football. I know, I think it was Joe. I don't want to get it wrong here. Actually, was chatting with him earlier today.
Joe Montana.
No, not Joe Montano, Jacob. What's wrong with you?
The catch.
Yeah, so Mr. Joe Stadler was the guy the listener who won the autographed Paul Hornung jersey that just got mailed out here recently. So he should be receiving that by Monday. And he was just a Patreon member. Like I said, it's a way for us to give back to you guys and gals that are supporting us. We really appreciate y'all being part of the Patreon group. We also like to get direct feedback in the Patreon group too. It's a way to incorporate y'all into the show. It's kind of replaced the super chat feature here on YouTube for us. Kind of cool. So yeah. Well, that being said, I'm sure something happened bad in the chat with the way y'all are acting. So we'll go ahead and get out of here.
Jacob,
just dad humor. Nothing bad.
All right. Okay. Emilio thinks pickles come from a tree. Got it.
Be surprised when I'm out there to pick them when there wasn't none there.
Oh, all right. See, this is when it goes off the rails. We'll be back tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern for another PTA Live. Then we're going to be doing a Good Morning Lambeau Sunday, and we'll also do a show in the evening. So we'll see what kind of comes down the pike. We may do Chalk Talk Evan Williams tomorrow night, or we might just go ahead and do just a regular show if we got some news dropping. Because, again, I think it would be smart for us to hear from those assistant coaches, from those positional coaches. That might be what we do tomorrow, and then maybe Sunday we do the Chalk Talk. So go ahead, Jacob. What's on your mind here?
No, I was just going to ask. So you're doing a morning show tomorrow?
No, on Sunday. Yeah.
All right. I can't do tomorrow night. I can't do Sunday night, but I can do the mornings.
All right, cool.
Yeah, Clayton's going to get out of bed tomorrow.
My knee.
I don't want to bore everyone with my work situation right now, but Emilio knows all about it, man. We've gotten rain 5 days this week.
Yeah.
All the landscaping's backed up. People calling. It's like I just want to crawl into a hole and do a podcast. That's it. I just want to talk ball. That's all I want to do. But all right, we're out. Emilio, Jacob, thank y'all for hanging out with me, man. This was a lot of fun. Appreciate y'all and your time as always. Absolutely. There. And yeah, let's see here. What else do we got here?
There's a possum in a dumpster.
That ain't the one.
Those of you listening on the pod.
Thank you for making us a part of your day. As always, let's go out and be the change that we want to see in the world. And go, Pack, go.
The power sweep. Actually, it's the lead play in our offense. We ask our YN or a tight end to open up somewhere between 6 feet and 9 feet. Get an isolation with the linebacker. Tell the tackle to take the defensive end if he's over him. If he's not, to drive down on the first man to his inside. If the YN has the linebacker taken out, he cuts inside. If the YN has the linebacker in, he comes all the way around. If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here, and try to run this play in the alley.